Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here today to share in more of I Am Grounded and our experience coming up on February 22nd. And one of the things that I would like to talk today about is the grounding experience. I ask you a question. What is the most grounding experience you have had on this planet thus far? It's a pretty interesting question. And what I'm talking about getting grounded is to remember that we are a body and we have one earth suit here. And I have found many levels throughout my almost 55 years here now that I have really grounded and felt the deep spiritual soulful connection of why I am here. This lights me up when I remembered this because this was an earlier experience and I was attributing to being grounded. Most of the times I have talked about being grounded and how I've been really blessed along with my husband to remember that we are facilitators of our words and how important our words and thoughts are, and helping others as well, in my case, women, remembering that we are here to experience a fullness of full expression in our body, remembering how to feel and heal in all layers of our emotions, and how we are much more than a label of just our emotions. That they're an experience, they're a memory of what we have gone through and how we can rewrite this. And suffering, we don't have to be in long suffering anymore. This can be very quickly done, transmuting our pain and suffering, which is what I get to today. What is the most grounding experience you've ever received, you've ever had? And my case, it was coming home to feeling grounded in my body. My earth suit has been through a lot on this planet. And the best and most important time I could say of physical pain transmuting to immense pleasure is having a birth, having a home birth. Now, I've had blessed with 3 children, 3 pregnancies that I've had different outcomes with. Meaning, of course, 3 different children. But the first one was, we didn't know any better than to go to the hospital. We had Stephanie, our first daughter, at home. In the hospital. And all of the complications that came after that, meaning we were just learning about vaccines and how they affect us. And that was a very learning lesson that we went through with Stephanie. Then I really knew more with our second child. I had this inclination that I really desired to have a home birth. This was in 1997 this time. And it was being talked about in our circles, and I was interested in trying something definitely of getting away from a drug-induced labor, which I was for Stephanie. I was suggested to get a full spinal, what's that? Okay, I'm going to avoid that. Spinal, I can't even remember right now, but where they tap into your pain and stop your pain by giving you an injection in your spine, and an epidural. You don't feel anything from that point down. And that's exactly what happened. Is I went so numb with the first birth from that epidural that I couldn't feel anything. Literally from the waist down, trying to push again it wasn't happening. How about that? Because I couldn't feel to actually connect my breath with the pushing, because I couldn't feel was I pushing or not. So given to the next birth, I said, you know what, I choose to be, okay, I'll be safe and in a hospital per my mother and other people around who decided along with me. But I had a birth plan. I said I didn't want to have any medication. I was going to do it naturally. And then I was about 7 centimeters dilated. And for some reason at that moment, I was alone in my room, and a well-intending, and I'm sure this nurse had every well intentions of helping me. And she made the suggestion, hey, honey, you need to have an epidural now or you're losing your window of opportunity. You sure you don't want that epidural? When you're in a moment of pain, your brain says, yeah, I can't do it anymore. I need some help. And so that suggestion was definitely, I said yes to it. Go ahead, give me the epidural. I need to get this baby out. And then the universe said, hey, honey, you don't need that. Because literally at the time, by the time they called them, anesthesiology came to my room and actually administered it, I was in stage 3 labor and having that beautiful number 2 kiddo. And within literally 15 minutes before it took, and I felt everything. I did. I felt it all. And including what happens afterwards, which is what I'm getting to now too. I did feel everything with that one, so I was blessed. And then had some interference in the room, etc. Later, my husband and I, thank goodness for him, he was in my room and protecting us from them coming in and wanting to take the baby out of the room. They wanted to give her all kinds of different vaccines and so forth. And we had already stated that we were a no. So he had to become daddy bear real quick and protect her. And he would be arguing with the pediatrician right outside the room. When I'm like, hey, well, first I had to tell him to get out of the room because they were driving my blood pressure up because they were actually debating in our room. The doctor was trying to tell us about what we had already decided wasn't good for the baby and so forth. And so we said, this is our choice. This is my body. And so for the third child, we said, we are having this one at home. And we did. And that was the best. It was so good. It was the most grounding experience ever. I felt everything. I was in a proper mindset though, and the body was like, okay, body, I know you're going to experience pain and I know we can get through this. And it was the first time that I remember walking in faith, full capital K, knowing in my body that this was exactly what I came here to do. That thousands upon hundreds of thousands of women had done this for centuries. And we are capable. If you are capable and you have this ability, I highly encourage. This was the best experience that I had. It's 22 years ago, and I can go back there and remember how grounding, how soulful it felt to be united with other women for centuries of doing the same thing with our bodies, innately giving birth to a world, to another person who has a whole agenda and a whole world ahead of him. And all of them are just miracles. And this one was powerful in my body. And one of the things that I began at that point to become aware of is how we have one home. I was home in my body. I felt source connected through me, in me, grounded in my body, that I knew nobody could take that experience away from me ever. So beautiful, inspiring other women have home births. And I see more and more younger women doing this normally, doing a lot of things now normally, innately grounding into our bodies and feeling, hey, this homeschool thing is pretty cool. Like jumping to protecting our children and choosing for our life blood to say, I choose to homeschool my children because the ways that the school districts, not the teachers, the school districts are talking about feeding information to my children. Hey, I choose something different. I choose to educate my children. Let's bring them home again. And having homeschooling, home births, and educating our families how to eat, nourish yourself, how to grow some healthy, basic even, at least little gardens, plants, and how our earth is here for us. This is grounding at its best. And when we can ground into the truth of our body and our powerhouse that we've been given, our body is our home. Our truth is in us. When we slow down and hear divine wisdom, we are grounded in our DNA. We are here to rewrite lineage patterns and help with the help, asking our ancestors, asking our angels, asking the source in us to identify that whisper that is in us, that is Source Divine speaking. This is our grounding. I am grounded is all about coming home to us. Are you hearing this? Is this resonating? Leave me a yes below if this is you. Happy Valentine's Day. Yes, love yourself. Let's be very gentle with this home, with our bodies and our heart's desire. When we slow down and listen to it, our subconscious is available. Where our heart is, we can slow down and hear the wisdom in our heart. This is our portal to Source. I have experienced this personally. I love my home. I love my body. And our words can and will affirm in us what is the truth. It will light you up when we get into this grounding. And no meds at home. Have you been experiencing that? Have you given home birth? Is there something else that you have felt grounded in? Today's message is leave that below. Share with me. What is your most grounding experience? And as you share with me, I have something else to share with you. If you are interested, leave me a yes below as well. If you would like a copy, I will tag you on a video I did and send, maybe publish it here. I am grounded. It's a bunch of I am decrees that I speak in a beautiful meditation almost for you. It really is. And if you would like that recording, just leave me also a hands or a heart below, okay? Thank you. Today is an amazing day. Honor your earth suit, be grounded, and I love you. Till next time.